Good evening, Oswego, and welcome to WTOP 10 Thursday Night News, your connection to Oswego and beyond. I'm Asa Stackel.
And I'm Katie Husband. Let's take a look at your top stories. 10 News starts now.
A Bermuda-bound Philadelphia flight was evacuated today after one of 3 people loading the plane didn't appear to belong and suddenly left the area. FBI spokesperson J.J. Claver said the man in question had proper clearance to be in a secure area, but was working on a plane that he wasn't supposed to be. When questioned by his fellow baggage handlers, he suddenly left the area. The plane tested negative for explosives, and the incident is not believed to be terror-related, said Claver. The investigation was ongoing, he added.
The Hungarian government asked for urgent help today due to a break in a reservoir holding industrial waste. The government reached out to the European Union for expert assistance in cleaning up the sludge in 3 villages. The sludge from an aluminum plant reached Europe's second largest river as officials worked to contain as much of the waste as possible. Officials think the pH has dropped, leading them to believe the river is safe, but they are still looking for signs of toxicity.
The federal government ran a deficit of nearly $1.3 trillion in the fiscal year, according to the preliminary estimates by the Congressional Budget Office released today. The fiscal year 2010 deficit came in $125 billion below last year, the worst year on record since World War II. Federal spending rose at 9%, a faster pace than it has in years. Much of that increase was due to greater spending on benefits for Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security and various provisions in the 2009 Recovery Act. The federal cost of unemployment benefits rose 34% as high rates of employment continue.
Plans for a new train tunnel to connect Manhattan to New Jersey have been shot down by New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. The $8.7 billion tunnel beneath the Hudson River was the largest public works project in the United States, but Christie believes it would cost up to $5 billion more than what was proposed. Christie said the tunnel, quote, costs far more than New Jersey taxpayers can afford, end quote. The $600 million already spent on the project may not be reimbursed.
With 160 meters to go until the Plan B drill reaches 33 trapped miners, a breakthrough to the men may be imminent. Despite the good news, the rescue plan is now approaching its most dangerous phase. Once the breakthrough takes place, the hole will have to be encased in steel, a very difficult procedure. When the rescue actually takes place, it could take each trapped miner more than an hour to get to the surface. Each miner will have to spend at least half an hour standing in a capsule as it is raised to the surface. Officials said they expect to have the men above ground between October 15th and October 30th. And now here's Keith Jaszka with a look at your first forecast. Keith?
Thank you, Asa, and good evening, Oswego. I'm meteorologist Keith Jaszka. Currently outside, it's 60 degrees with clear skies, dew point at 45 degrees, and wind is still quite strong. It's out of the west-northwest at 31 miles per hour. Regional radar quite quiet across the Great Lakes region, including New York State, although the same storm system that brought a soaking rain to our region last night continues to impact New England, where scattered rain showers are currently falling. Your 3-day futurecast calls for a warm day on Friday with a high of 70. We'll have a high of around 53 on Saturday with morning clouds giving way to sunshine later on in that morning and into the afternoon. And on Sunday, after a cool start, we will warm up to 65 degrees. So if you can, get outside this weekend and enjoy the dry weather. Now back to the news desk.
Thanks, Keith. Now we'll turn to Stuart Seidel for sports.
Good evening, I'm Stuart Seidel. Coming up in sports tonight, find out what MLB team finds themselves in trouble after being one of the front runners to win it all. The NHL season got underway in Helsinki, Finland today when the Carolina Hurricanes took on the Minnesota Wild. And find out what Oswego team put up an impressive victory today here at home. That's what you can look forward to a little later in sports. Now let's send it back to the desk with Asa.
Thanks, Stu. Today in Syracuse, 2 men were indicted in connection with an armed holdup at a Southside restaurant. 20-year-old Aaron Jackson and 20-year-old Jermaine Grimes robbed 3 people at gunpoint inside Omani's Lemonade Heaven on August 17th. Jackson was charged with second-degree attempted murder after firing shots at the restaurant's cook, Antonio Cordero, who chased Jackson from the scene. Jackson was also charged with first-degree murder after firing a shot at responding police officer John Mulheron. Both Grimes and Jackson were charged with 3 counts of first-degree robbery.
A nearby school negotiates a payment from the district for the superintendent to retire early. Jordan Elbridge School District met with Superintendent Marilyn Dominic to negotiate just under an $83,000 payment from the district to retire early. Syracuse.com reports the deal calls for Dominic to receive the large amount in her retirement account, a tax-sheltered annuity, in addition to her salary for the first 4 months of the school year.
A local Little League organization is bouncing back after an arsonist caused $15,000 to $20,000 of damage to their facilities. On August 30th, the Mattydale-Hinsdale open-air pavilion was destroyed by fire, along with an attached concession stand and a storage room where the teams kept equipment and uniforms. The Little League organization has held a number of fundraisers so far and continue to raise money. With the upcoming fundraisers at Pizza Hut and the AMF Bowling Alley, the organization is pushing hard to regain the losses. When we come back, we'll have a look at your campus news as well as sports and weather.
Stay tuned.